Okay, so let's move on, and I think we'll start working on the band pieces back here that hold the scope onto the top of the barrel. Okay, let's take a look at our reference, see if we can see it. Alright, you can see the bands here. Alright, can't really see much else, so let's see if we have another angle. Alright, so back into the asset browser, and let's just open a couple of these. Alright, so you can see it pretty good here. Alright, so we'll use that, and let's try this one. Alright, you can see it a bit. And maybe this guy. Alright, so just use a combination of these pictures. Alright, so let's get some of this other stuff out of the way. Alright, so let's select everything, hold Alt, deselect the barrel, right click, hide selection. Alright, and let's jump out and go into the front view for this, and I think we'll do it pretty much the same way we've done the previous ones. We'll just start with a tube. Okay, so let's go back to the right panel, grab a tube, and let's just drag one out here. Alright, give it a bit of height. Alright, and let's go back to perspective and get it lined up. Alright, so the align tool again, click on the barrel, X, Y, Z, and both pivot points, and OK. And let's just back it off on the Y, move it into position. Alright, just hit Z. Alright, so let's open up the Modify panel. Alright, and the first thing I do is dump the height segments again. Alright, right click the spinner, take it down to 1. And I think I'll do 60 sides on this one as well. Alright, so it's nice and smooth. The height we can do it manually, let's figure out the radius we need. That actually looks pretty close right there, so maybe I'll do 21.4 on the radius 1, and let's just do 22.4 on radius 2. Alright, because I don't think these are that thick. They look fairly thin. Okay. Alright, so that's probably cool. Let's go into the left view. Alright, just gonna exit that. Alright, sorry, my stuff's all jumping around there. Okay, so in the left view, I'm just gonna move this back and just go past the line here for the handle. Okay, and let's convert it to a poly. Alright, and we'll grab vertex and grab all the verts on the right side and just drag them out to make this a little wider. Alright, and again, I'm just going to go past this line here. Alright, so let's exit vertex and go back into perspective. Alright, spin it around to the other side. Alright, so let's take another look. Alright, so it's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like it goes around, and then it has these extruded pieces coming off it that hold the sight on and the bracket for the optical sight. Alright, we don't actually have an optical sight on ours, but we'll put the bracket on for it anyway. Alright, so I think the first thing we should probably do is just add a couple of loops down the center of this. So let's go to edge and just grab an edge, and we'll ring and connect. Alright, and we'll do 2 segments. Alright, and we'll just pinch them together. Alright, maybe -70 or so on the pinch, and OK. And if we take another look here, you can see that the top one's a little thinner than this one down here. Alright, so it's a little more narrow. Okay, so let's just drag our 2 loops over a bit to the left. Alright, doesn't have to be anything exact, just maybe like that. Okay, and take another look. Alright, so it looks like that one starts right at the outside edge and goes up. These guys down here, it looks like it's in a little bit from the edge. You can see there's a bit of a space here. Alright, it's kind of hard to tell, but we should probably add another loop over here on this side. Alright, so let's grab that edge there and ring and connect. Alright, this time we'll do 1 segment, no pinch, and just move the edge over to the right. Alright, -85 should do it, and OK. Alright, so we're going to have to start pulling some polys out of this to get those pieces sticking out, so let's just take another look. Alright, so it looks like this one kind of comes off on an angle, and this one comes out from the side and kind of goes in right before it rounds down underneath. Okay, so let's go to Polygon and just make some selections here. Alright, so I'm just going to go up on top. Alright, this is center edge here, so I'm just going to skip a segment maybe and just start grabbing a couple. Maybe along here. Alright. Might move down one and just deselect this one. Alright, so 2 from center, and we'll just grab 4. I think that should be fine for that piece, and then let's figure out where the other one is. Alright, so I think I might start pulling these out right at the halfway point here. Alright, and we'll just grab a bunch. Maybe 8 or so. That should probably be fine. Okay, and let's extrude them out. So we'll open up extrude, and I'm going to do this on group. And I think 10 is probably too much. Let's go into the front view and just lower the amount down a bit. It doesn't need to be that high. Alright, we'll do 5. That's probably okay. So I'll say okay. Alright, so we need to set our sight on here when we make it. So we're going to have to flatten this off. So let's go to vertex, and we'll just grab all the guys on the top here. All 10, and we'll go down to the make planar again and just hit Y just to flatten off the top. Okay, and I might just kind of even this out a little bit. Alright, pull this one out maybe a bit. Take another look here. Alright, it looks like it has a kind of like an angled edge here on the side, so I'm just going to grab these guys on the corner. And let's turn on our edge constraints. Right, pull it down to edge, and I'm just going to move these down just to get a bit of an angle on that piece. Alright, maybe just like that. Okay, and we can turn this off, so go back to none. And let's jump out and take a look in perspective. Alright, so we have our shading problem again. We'll fix that in a second. Just going to check out the height, see if it looks okay. Alright, looks pretty good. Alright, so let's start doing these guys on the side. So back into the front view. Alright, and I'm just going to go in here on vertex and just grab all the verts on the outside of this piece. Alright, all 18. And let's just drag them out a bit on the X. Okay, and let's flatten them out. Alright, so back to make planar and just hit X. Okay, and I'm just going to move them up so they're kind of straight. Alright, maybe just like that. Alright, let's check it out. So we might have to push that in a bit. Let's take another look. I'm not sure how far it sticks out. Alright, so yeah, it's going to have to go in a little bit. Okay, so let's just push it back. Alright, that's probably fine. Alright, so let's just exit vertex. Okay, and I'm just going to put a smooth modifier on that and see if it takes care of it. Alright, so smooth. Alright, looks like it fixed it, and then right click and convert back to double poly. Alright, so let's do another save, just to be safe. And we're going to be turbo smoothing this piece, so let's add some support edges. Alright, so let's go to edge, and let's just start up here. I'm just going to grab one on the block, do a ring, open up connect. Alright, 2 segments, no slide, and let's just pinch them apart. Alright, maybe 90, and okay, and then same with this guy down here. Ring, connect, and I'm just going to raise that a bit, kind of even it out, so we'll do 92, and okay. Alright, we're also going to need some down the side here, so let's grab one of these little guys and ring, connect again. Alright, 2 segments, I'm just going to lower the pinch down. Alright, let's say 50 for these guys, and okay. And then we're also going to need some down the center here to hold the inside corners of both those blocks. Alright, so let's grab one of these guys, ring, and I'm just going to hit connect. And we'll do it the same, 50. Alright, and let's just do some on the side while we're at it. Alright, so grab one of those, control click one on the other side, ring again, connect again. Alright, I think 50 should be cool for these two, so we'll just say okay. Alright, so that should hold the band just fine. Let's actually add some around the block pieces. Alright, so we'll grab the side one there, ring, connect. Alright, 2 segments again, I'm just going to up the pinch. Let's do maybe 85. And okay, and then same with the guy down below. Ring, and just going to hit connect, and we'll do it the same. Alright, that should be fine. Alright, so I haven't added any across this way to support this outside corner of the blocks. And that's only because on the reference here you can see it's not really a hard edge, it kind of rolls into this piece, and same with down here. Okay, so I'm going to leave those out, even though you typically would want to support these corners, and we'll see how it looks with Turbosmooth. Alright, so let's exit edge. Alright, we might need to add some support to this guy up here too, to keep that sharp, but let's put a Turbosmooth on and just see how it looks. Alright, so back to the modify list to Turbosmooth, we'll do 2 iterations, and isoline display. Alright, hit F4, and we'll just take a look here. Alright, so this one definitely needs to be harder than it is right now. Alright, the rest of it doesn't look too bad. I think it's good enough. Alright, so let's just fix the top of this, and I think I'm just going to leave these a little softer than I normally would. Okay, so F4 again, and let's drop down to edit poly. Alright, back to edge, and let's just grab one of these guys and do a ring. Connect. Alright, and I'm just going to do one. No pinch, and just slide it closer to the top. Alright, let's do maybe 55. Alright, 56 should be cool. Say OK, and then same with this side. Alright, I'm just going to put a minus in here. Alright, so negative 56 on the slide, and OK, just so it's even. Alright, we're going to have to be careful here also because we have these 3 edge loops really close together. Alright, so when we smooth this, we might get a bit of a flat spot right here, or a noticeable edge that we might have to fix, but let's exit edge, turn our show end result on, okay, so we can see it smooth, then we'll turn off our edges, F4. Alright, so that looks better up here. Alright, you can kind of see right there in the highlight, there's a bit of an edge. Alright, now that's pretty, minute, and when you have the scope on top and everything, it's probably not really going to be noticeable, but just in case you have a problem with that, sometime in the future I'll just show you how you can kind of clean it up. Alright, so let's turn our edges back on, F4, turn off show end result, alright, and we'll go to edge. And one thing we actually might be able to do on this piece is delete the inside polygons. Alright, so let's do that first. Alright, so isolation mode, Alt Q. Alright, back to edit poly, back to edge. And let's just select one of the inside edges and do a ring on it. And convert the selection to polys by control-clicking polygon. Alright, and we'll just dump it with delete. Alright, you're never going to see that, and there's no real reason to have all those polygons in here. Okay, so let's exit polygon, and we'll go back to edge. Alright, so I'm just going to zoom in on these 3 guys here, and I think I'll just try to spread the 2 outer ones out a bit. Okay, just to even things out, so let's grab this guy on the top. Alright, and I don't want to move the whole loop, I'm just going to move it from the outer edge to this corner here. Okay, so with control held down, you can always use these little arrows here next to loop. Alright, and it'll go in both directions, so when you click this, it'll add one more edge to your selection along the loop. Okay, so you can see when I click that up, it starts to add edges along here. Alright, so we'll do it a couple. I think I'll stop right at the corner of the block. Okay, and then we'll hit the down arrow a couple times just to get all the way around to the inside. Okay, and let's go down and turn our edge constraints on. Alright, go to edge, and then we'll just move this out with move. So I'm just going to push it on the X. Alright, kind of even it out between these 2 loops. Alright, and we'll do the same with this guy. Alright, grab that one, hold control, and just hit the arrows until you get your selection. Alright, so just those 12, and then the same thing, just pull it this way. Try to even it out a bit. Alright, you can see the edges are really bent here, but that's okay. It's not going to really affect it. Alright, so just so everything's a little bit evenly spaced. Okay, and let's exit edge and turn show end result back on. Alright, turn our edges off, F4. Alright, you can see it kind of fixed it. Alright, it might still be there slightly, but it's a lot better than it was. Alright, so if you ever have problems with that where you have creases in the surface and you can't get rid of it, just try evening out the edge loops and it should fix it. Alright, so I think that's good enough for this piece. Alright, so let's just exit isolation mode. Alright. Alright, so we're going to need one down here at the front, obviously. But you can see here that this front one's quite a bit thinner than this one is here. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll mirror this over because we want it to be, reversed, and we'll move it to the front, and then I think we'll just, change the width manually to make it match more like this. Okay, so before we copy it, let's actually give it a name, and I'll just call it maybe, I don't know, scope band or something, whatever you want. doesn't really matter. Alright, just change my color. Alright, and we might as well center the pivot point on it while we're at it. Alright, so hierarchy tab, effect pivot only, center object, turn it off. Alright, so yeah, we'll use mirror here, so let's go up and open mirror. Okay, and I want to do this on the Y axis, and a copy, and then hit OK. Alright, and just pull it down here towards the front. Alright, looks like it goes pretty close to the front edge. Alright, so maybe like that. Okay, and we need to thin it up, so let's go to the left view. Alright, and we'll go back to the Modify panel, drop into Edit Poly. Alright, go to Vertex. Again, make sure you don't have back facing turned on when you do this, and I'm just going to grab all the stuff on the left side here. Alright, and just pull it over. Let's turn our edge constraints off first though, else we're going to have a problem. Alright, so we'll go to none, and then we'll just drag this over. Alright, just to thin things up a bit. Alright, take a look here. Alright, don't want to go too far, else this piece is going to be too thin. Alright, taking our look. Alright, let's go back into the left view. Alright, just going to grab this right center bunch of loops and just pull it over a little bit closer to the other ones. Okay. Right, maybe just like that. And it's not going to be exact to our reference, obviously, but I think it should be close enough. Okay, so just minimize that, and we can turn off vertex. Alright. Alright, just take one more look. Alright, and I think that's good for those two pieces. Okay, so before we actually start working on the bracket here for the optical scope, we should probably do a save. Alright, so I think we'll do this next, get that out of the way, and then we'll move up and actually build the scope on top. Okay, so yeah, let's save. Okay, so let's select our two bracket pieces, and we'll just right click and hide everything else. So hide unselected. Alright, just to make this a little easier to see, and let's jump into the left view. Okay, and I'm just going to change my view from left to right. Alright, just so we're looking at it from the right side. Okay, let's take a look. Alright, so it's not that complicated. I don't think it should take too long to do. And I think splines are probably our best bet for making this. I think that'll be the quickest way. Alright, so let's just see if we can see exactly what it looks like on the back. Alright, so it looks like it has a plate on the back that's a little thicker and it has holes in it. And then it has like this smaller plate on the front that has the screw holes and the groove. Alright, so we'll do it out of two pieces. Alright, so let's go over to the create panel, and I'm just going to go over to shapes again. Okay, and we'll just start with a rectangle here. Okay, I'm just going to drag one out. Try to zoom in here a bit. Alright, so I'm going to start here on the block piece and just drag out a rectangle. We can do this in wireframe. F3. Alright, so I'm just going to try to even it out in there. Maybe like that. Okay. And then we want to round the corners over a little bit, as you can see here. So let's just up the corner radius here just a bit. Alright, just to round them over slightly. Alright, maybe 0.74 should be good, I think. Okay, and then we're going to need some holes in the center. I think I might just actually put one long slot in the center, just to make it a little quicker. Okay, so we'll go back to rectangle, and I'm just going to drag out another one here. I'm going to start maybe right on this edge. Alright, we'll just drag one out. I'm going to try to kind of eyeball it. We can always align it in a sec. Let's just figure out how big we want it to be. Alright, maybe like that. Let's go to the align tool, and I'm just going to click on this one. Alright, X, Y, and Z, both pivot points, and OK. Alright, just so we know it's centered. Alright, maybe we should round the corners off on this guy too, so let's go back to the Modify panel, just up the corner radius again. Alright, we'll match it, we'll do 0.74. Alright, so it matches the outside. Alright, so that's probably all we really need to do for this piece, because you're not really going to see it too good when we get that other piece on the outside. Alright, so I'm just going to grab both our lines and just move them over. Okay, and let's attach them together. Alright, so just select one, right click on it, and convert it to an editable spline. And we'll just go down to attach again and just click on this one. And turn and attach off. Alright, just so it's one piece, and let's just use the shell modifier on this again. Okay, so into the modify list, down to shell. Alright, and I'm not sure how thick it needs to be. Let's take a look. I can't tell from that angle. Alright, so it's fairly wide. Let's try maybe 3 on the outer amount. That might be a little too thick. Let's do 2.5. Alright, that looks close. Alright, so we'll say 2.5 for the shell amount, and let's right click and convert to editable poly. Okay, we're going to get our cuts again, but that's okay. I think I'll just leave them where they are on this piece. Alright, so let's soften up the edges. So let's go to edge and just drag through the whole thing. Get all the edges, and then we'll go into the front view and just hold Alt and just drag down the center. Alright, just so we have the outline selected, and we also don't want to do these guys. So let's deselect these holding Alt. Okay, and just make sure you get the one on the back as well. Alright, and let's just chamfer this. Alright, so chamfer. Alright, we'll take it down. Doesn't have to be a lot. Alright, let's do maybe 0.2 and OK. Alright, let's check this out up here. Alright, get a bit of a problem. Alright, so I'm just going to jump into the left view one more time, and we'll zoom in up here and just fix this. Alright, so we got a stray vert that's being pulled over there, so let's go to vertex, and I'm just going to drag through and get the front and the back one at the same time, and we'll just move it back on the X. Alright, just to kind of even everything out. Alright, that should be fine. Alright, so back to perspective, we can turn off vertex. Alright, let's change our color. I'm just going to throw the blue on there. Okay, and let's move it into position. I just want to touch on these guys. Alright, just like that. And I think that's really all we need for this piece, because again, we're going to have the front plate on there, and you're not really going to see any of this stuff. Alright, so let's just name it something. I'm just going to call it optical sight bracket or something. Maybe I'll add base. Alright, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. Alright, let's center the pivot on it too. Alright, so one piece is down, and we'll just add the outside now. Alright, so back to the left view. Alright, and we don't really need the bands in there anymore, so let's just hide those. Hide selection. Alright, so let's take one more look. Alright, so it looks like this one's a little smaller. Alright, it's got the 2 screw holes there, and then the seam in the middle. Okay, so I think we'll use a rectangle again. Alright, so let's grab one, and I'm just going to drag one out here that's a bit smaller than this one. Alright, we'll leave a bit of a reveal around the outside. Alright, maybe like that. And let's center it, so I'm just going to go to the Align tool and click on our other bracket there. Alright, again, XYZ, okay. Alright, that should be cool for that, I think. Looks about the right size. And let's round the corners over. Alright, so back into the Modify panel, I'm just going to up the corner radius. Alright, we'll go higher on this one. Maybe 1.5. Should be good, okay. And let's add the screw holes. Alright, so we'll go back to the Create panel, and to Shapes, grab a circle, and let's just drag one out here. Let's say maybe 2 on the radius for that. Alright, that should be fine, I think, and I'm just going to center it again. Alright, so the Align tool, align it to our line there. Okay, just so we know it's centered from top and bottom, I'm just going to move it over. Alright, maybe right there, and then we'll shift drag a copy on the X down to the other side. Alright, kind of evenly space them, and copy and OK. Alright, so that takes care of the screw holes. Let's take a look here. Alright, so it's got these kind of oval holes. So let's use another rectangle. Alright, I'm just going to drag one out here. Alright, I might start just on the inside of the line from the back piece. Alright, we'll drag one out. It doesn't need to be huge. Alright, maybe like that. Okay, and let's center it. Line tool again, click on this. Alright, and okay, and we'll just move it back. Might go over a little bit more. Alright, and then we'll shift drag, copy to the other side, but let's round the corners over first. Alright, so we'll just go up to give it the oval shape. Alright, not too far. If we go too far, it's going to start crossing our verts. Alright, so just a bit, let's say 2.4. Alright, that looks about right. Okay, and we'll just shift drag one of these over here again. Alright, like that, copy, okay. Alright, I think that should be fine. Okay, so let's just make sure in perspective that everything is lined up properly. Alright, I'm just going to select this back piece and just hide it. Alright, so we only have our lines, just want to make sure I got everything. Alright, and we'll attach them together. Okay, so we'll select the outside, right click, convert to editable spline, go down to attach, and I'm just going to click on each of these guys. Just like that, turn off attach, and let's just use the shell modifier one more time. Alright, so shell. Okay, and this one's fairly thin compared to the first one we did, so let's just do maybe 1.5 or so. That's probably okay. Let's see what 1 looks like. I might do 1.5. I just want to leave ourselves a little bit of width here to push this center crack in a minute. Alright, so do that. Convert to editable poly again. Alright, we're going to get some weird cuts. Alright, might have to clean these up. Alright, I'm just going to change my color here. Alright, throw our blue on so we can see, and let's go down to cut. Alright, just going to zoom in here. I think I'll just connect the holes. Alright, so we'll go from this vert over to the center one here. Find a vert. Alright, there's one. Click, right click to end. Alright, let's go across the center here. Alright, and again, when your cursor turns into a little tiny square, you know you're on a vert. Alright, so we'll try to cut vert to vert if we can. Alright, and same with this guy. Alright, just like that. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get rid of some of these. We might not be able to. Alright, take that one out with control backspace, and this guy. Oh, that was on the back. This guy here. Alright, and let's get rid of this one. Let's see if I can get rid of this one as well. Alright, that one's going to have to be moved or stay. Alright, I think I'll just cut. Alright, just thinking here. Alright, let's connect on the back ones just to make sure we're not going to have a problem when we chamfer. Okay, so we'll just go to cut again and go around to the back and just do the same thing that we did on the front. Alright, again we'll just get rid of these edges on the back. Control backspace on each of them. Okay, and to get rid of these, I think we're just going to cut down the center here. We're going to need an edge loop in there anyway to create that indented piece right here. Okay, so let's go back to the left view. Alright, and I'm just going to turn off edge, and I'm just going to use the quick slice tool. Alright, so we'll turn that on, and what this does, if you've never used it before, is it just allows you to slice through your mesh. So you just click somewhere. Alright, and then anywhere you click, it's going to add this cut across. Okay, so we'll try to go straight down and click. Alright, and then turn it off. Alright, so it's sliced right through the model. It's similar to the slice modifier, pretty much exactly. Alright, so just like that all the way around, and then we'll see if we can get rid of this now. Control backspace. Alright, and control backspace. Alright, so just like that, and I'm just going to go back to the left view. Alright, I think I did a little off center here, so let's just select these verts and just move them over so they're kind of centered between the two holes. Maybe like that. Okay, and let's go back to edge and jump into perspective, and I'm just going to grab this one here and do a loop on it. Okay, and then we'll chamfer it. Alright, let's go up a bit on this. Alright, we'll do like 2 or something. Alright, that looks good and okay. And let's grab all the edges in between those two new ones. Connect again, 2 segments. Alright, I'm just going to pinch these apart just a little bit. Maybe 30 on the pinch and okay. And then I'm just going to go and select these 4 edges on the front face. Alright, control click vertex. Alright, and we'll just go to move and push these in on the X. Alright, just like that, just to create that little indented detail. Okay, so pretty simple. Alright, so let's soften up some of the edges with chamfer. So just go to edge, select all the edges again. Okay, and then I'm going to go into the front view. Alright, and just hold Alt and just drag through these guys here. Okay. And then again, we don't want to be doing these guys when we chamfer, so let's deselect them. Alright. Just gonna hold Alt and just drag through. Alright, you could do this in the left view too if it's a little easier. Alright, you want to get the back ones at the same time. Okay, all these guys like that. Alright, let's just check around back and make sure we didn't miss anything. Alright, looks good. Alright, so chamfer again. And just lower the amount down. Alright, maybe 0.2, that looks about right. And say OK. Alright, so let's just take a look, make sure we don't have any weird faces overlapping our edges. Alright, looks pretty good. And check out the back, even though you'll never see this. Okay, so that looks good. Alright, that's probably all we need to do for this piece. Alright, so let's exit edge. Alright, I'm just going to right click it on hide all. Okay, and just hit Z. Alright, let's just move it out so it's sitting on the surface. Alright, just like that. Alright, I'm just going to throw the gray shader on this stuff, I think. Alright, so let's select all of it and just apply our gray shader. Alright, so that's not looking too bad. Alright, and again, I think it's close enough to the reference. Okay, so before we move on, let's just name this front piece. Alright, so I'm just going to copy the name out of the back one that we made, the optical side bracket base, and C, and then we'll select our front face and just paste the name in here, Control V. Alright, I'll just call it front or something. And again, name this stuff whatever you want to. Doesn't really matter. Alright, so that doesn't look too bad. Alright, I think we're close. Alright, so we're going to have to add the screws in here, but let's do a save now that that's done.